What's going on, guys? Cameron back again from Attack on Anime, here to bring you a season wrap-up on The Lost Village. Now, what a season wrap-up is something that our channel does every anime season when stuff is like wrapping up. I watch a few series and I'm just like, okay, whatever didn't get the weekly treatment, I'll do in a whole no spoiler review. But for The Lost Village, I decided to do half no spoiler and half spoiler because you can't really talk too much about this anime without going into some spoilers. So I'm going to do a non-spoiler section just establishing the story, not really going too much past that, not talking about any endgame, no villains, because like I said, I don't want to spoil. But the end section will be where I talk about the spoiler section, where I can go into the villain, relationships between the characters, my favorite characters, just all those types of things. So I hope you guys enjoy it, but without further ado, let's start the no spoiler section. We start our anime with a tour of people who are on their way to a Nanaki village to start a new life. And by starting a new life, they get new names, no one knows where they're going, the cops can't even find this place, but it's really hard to find. You need a lot of maps, a lot of clues, a lot of rumors, research. It just takes a lot to find this place. So people putting together the tour, put out the application online, people applied, just like normal, and they get to go and they start this new life. And what they don't understand is no matter where you go, you're gonna like conflict with people. If you're living with people, personalities are gonna conflict. No place is perfect. Nothing is perfect in this world. So when they get to Nanaki village and realize it's not as perfect as they thought it was, and they come to the strict decision of, do you stay or do you go? If you go, you know it's going to take you a while to find your way back because it took you a minute to find your way out how to get here. This place is hard as hell to find. So finding your way back is not going to be any easy task. So they know that off the bat. So when it comes to staying or going, it's a really tough decision for them. When strange things start happening, they start hearing things in the forest, people going missing, just things like that start pushing people to the point where they don't trust a lot of people around them. They're just like, someone around here is a snake and we're gonna get to the bottom of it. And they spend so much time bickering with each other and not really finding any real solutions. And it's just like most of the anime is just like that. It's a constant trust game. You don't know who to trust. Things are happening left and right. And without going in too much into it, like I said, I don't want to spoil too much. But that's just the main bulk of the anime. Just them learning to trust each other. And at the end, the overall lesson of the anime, without spoiling anything, comes to be you have to accept yourself. The main character of the anime, Mitsumune, is an optimistic, gullible kid. Pretty much anyone can manipulate him. He's really nice. He tries to see the good in people. When people start mistrusting each other, he's usually the one trying to hold the group together and be like, hey, we don't need to rush to any conclusions. We're all here for a new life. We're all here for the same thing. So he's really optimistic and seeing the good in people to the point where everybody starts to look at him and be like, dude, you're going to make us hate you as well if you just keep not making sense to us. So that's a large part of the anime that I really like. It all comes down to trust. I love when trust is a good motif in animes because it shows just how easily people can like sway one way or the other. One word or one statement from the right person can switch a whole person's thought pattern in a whole different direction. Another part I love is the backstories. The backstories in this anime are really awesome. They give a good insight into each character. Now, while each character didn't get like their own individualized episode and their whole dedication to them, it still made it work with the story in order to push it forward more and get to its ultimate end within 12 episodes. Because you gotta think, 12 episodes with like, I don't know, I think maybe like a 20-25 character cast, you obviously can't get to everyone in 12 episodes. So for what they did and the way they did it, and it all wrapping and coming full circle in the end, really helped this anime overall in my eyes. The last thing I can say, non-spoiler, it's an overall good anime. I would recommend it to someone. If you like weird animes, it's definitely a weird anime. It's a slow build. Like, at first it may take you a while to realize why certain things are happening the way they are. But once you start getting closer and closer to the end and you start learning more and more, you just want to learn until you finally finish it. And then when you finish it, you're like, man, that just came full circle. And I kind of learned a little life lesson on the side. So overall, it's a good anime. And now I'm going to move into my spoiler thoughts. Now, if you're at this part of the video, you definitely want to hear my spoiler thoughts. And the first thing I'm going to start off with is the Mitsumune, Tokamune, like, confrontation, identity crisis, whatever you want to call it. I love the fact how it's kind of similar to Game of Thrones when in the first season when Bran fell out the window. And the mom felt like really responsible for that. Because Tokomune died, she goes crazy and she's just like, Mitsumune, you're Tokomune. You guys were twins. You guys look close enough to each other. I'm just going to call you him because I obviously loved him more, even though he was the bad child. And Mitsumune was always the good listening child. Mitsumune deals with it because he loves his mom so much and he doesn't want her to go insane. But she always knew it deep down. So I just love that character development and that confrontation. It adds extra weight to the story and shows why Mitsumune wants to start over so badly. His best friend wants to start over because he's just like, man, Mitsumune, I need to control you all the time. So that's why I came with you, to make sure that you still listen to me. I don't want you to go off and start your own new life. I want you to do what I want you to do because that's the way I was raised. When that finally comes out, it kind of makes sense because Hayato was always really on him, just like, hey man, you shouldn't do this or I'm gonna get really pissed off. Like, don't go making new friends or I'm gonna get really pissed off. And it kind of makes sense. He's like a jealous kid down, like he wants full control. All his life, that's all he was treated like. He was just treated with, no, you're gonna do this, you're gonna dress this way, you're gonna go to these events. So it makes sense why Hayato would eventually get pushed to the point of insanity. And the fact that Misaki has been to the village before, I was just like, okay, that's pretty cool. It makes sense why she knows so much, why she was acting so weird. And when you find out the whole relationship with Reiji and all of that in the end, it makes sense why certain characters act the way they do. And Misaki was always just trying to get back to that person that she missed so badly. But in the end, when she accepts Mitsumune as her first like actual friend, she's able to move on. She's able to accept her Nanaki and move on back to the real world. So I find that really awesome, and that's a really cool character development moment for Misaki, who for the most part throughout the anime was just like kind of that background character that no one really trusted. But when it came out full front that she's pretty much the main character of this series, I love seeing that breakout in her character. Koharun, the villain of this series, was trying to heal her dad, who was cursed by Nanaki Village to pretty much age forever. But her dad is so okay with it because he's using himself as his own research subject. He's able to do research off himself to further research Nanaki Village, which is what he's been wanting to do the entire time. So he's content. He's lost his Nanaki, but he's still content with being emotionless. He's understanding emotional scars more. He's understanding Nanaki Village more as more people go back to it. He understands the conditions. So he's just still learning more and doing more research, even though everyone told him he's crazy. No one should like fund him. No one should he should stop researching. All of that came into his face, and he was still able to say, no, this is what I'm going to do. These are my beliefs until the very end. And to finish off, my favorite character was definitely Volcana. He was the most respectful character in this anime because he has such a great sense of responsibility. People screwed him over in the real world, so he does his best not to do the same to other people. He may come off as an asshole sometimes, but it's just like, dude's had a rough life. Like, you got it pinned on you for an error that you didn't even make. Someone's greed pretty much got you fired from your good paying job. And all these people on this board that you respected and looked up to and wanted to surpass one day, just all of a sudden all turned their backs on you. So I find his backstory really interesting. It's I don't want to say generic. It's kind of basic, but it's still really interesting to see that he didn't let that beat him down and make him such an asshole of a person. When Yotsun went missing, he was the main one out there day and night looking for this dude. He didn't even have that close of a relationship with him. He was just like, no, this guy was under me. He was my man. He was my underling. I take responsibility for him, and I'm not going to rest until I find him because that's going to weigh on me. So I love Volcana as a character. He's my favorite character. The fact that he decided to stay in the end just shows like he's one of those characters that just did not want to go back. There's a bunch of them that just didn't want to go back because there's nothing to go back to for them. But still, seeing Volcana have that much development over the series, and he's one of the most developed background characters in the anime. So that's been my little season wrap up on The Lost Village, guys. I hope you guys have enjoyed it. If you have, drop me a like, comment your thoughts on the anime. If you're gonna do spoiler thoughts, make sure you put a spoiler tag. I don't want people who haven't seen it to get spoiled or anything, because like I said, overall it was a pretty good anime to me. Not the best, but it's still entertaining, and I learned a little life lesson at the end. But until next time, guys, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Peace.